Never allow the narcissist to ruin your physical health and well-being. It's easier said than done, right? When you're caught in the whirlwind of a narcissistic relationship, your mind can feel like it's in a constant state of chaos. But did you know that this emotional turmoil can spill over into your physical health? Stress, anxiety, and even depression can take a toll on your body, leading to a range of issues, from insomnia to chronic pain. Today we'll dive into how narcissistic abuse impacts your physical health and what you can do to reclaim your well-being. Are you ready for number 1? Sleep disturbances. When you're stressed or anxious, it can be hard to sleep. You might find yourself tossing and turning or unable to fall asleep at all. Dr. Matthew Walker, a sleep expert, says, "Sleep is the single most effective thing we can do to reset our brain and body health." If you're dealing with narcissistic abuse, those sleepless nights can make everything feel worse. Insomnia and restless nights can leave you feeling like a zombie on a caffeine binge, which doesn't do your physical health any favors. Listen carefully. It's important to focus on getting good sleep, especially when you're feeling anxious. Let's talk about number 2. Digestive issues. You might not realize it, but anxiety can really mess with your stomach. When you're feeling stressed, your body can react in ways that lead to digestive issues, like irritable bowel syndrome, IBS. According to Dr. John McGreevy, a gastroenterologist, the gut is often referred to as the second brain, and what happens in your mind can affect your gut. So if you've been through narcissistic abuse, all that anxiety might cause you to experience cramps, bloating, or other tummy troubles. Let me teach you something. To overcome anxiety-related digestive issues, focus on stress management techniques like mindfulness, deep breathing, and regular exercise, as they can help calm both your mind and gut. Let's move on to number 3. Weight changes. When you're dealing with the fallout from narcissistic abuse, your eating habits can really take a hit. You might find yourself stress eating, which can lead to weight gain and even obesity. On the flip side, some people lose their appetite completely when they're stressed, resulting in weight loss. As psychologist Dr. Susan Albers says, emotions can hijack our eating habits. So, whether you're reaching for that pint of ice cream or skipping meals altogether, it's important to recognize how stress affects your body. Remember this: taking care of your emotional well-being is key to maintaining a healthy weight and feeling good overall. Now, let's continue to number 4. Skin issues. If you've been through narcissistic abuse, your skin might decide to rebel, turning into a canvas of irritation and frustration. Stress can crank up your body's inflammation levels, leading to those pesky skin problems. As dermatologist Dr. Ava Shamban puts it, the skin is a reflection of what's happening inside. So, if your insides are a hot mess, your skin might just join the chaos. You could be sitting there trying to look composed, while your face is throwing a full-on protest. Let me give you a tip. To overcome stress-related skin issues, prioritize self-care practices like hydration, a balanced diet, and relaxation techniques to help reduce inflammation and restore your skin's natural balance. You shouldn't miss number 5. Hair loss. If you've been feeling stressed out, you might have noticed your hair isn't looking as full as it used to. That's because chronic stress can actually lead to hair thinning or even hair loss. Dr. Francesca Fusco, a dermatologist, explains that stress can trigger hair loss by pushing hair follicles into a resting phase. So if you're dealing with the aftermath of narcissistic abuse, all that stress might be taking a toll on your locks. It's a clear sign that your mental well-being really affects your physical appearance. Keep this in mind. Taking steps to manage your stress can help not just your mind, but also keep your hair healthy and vibrant. Are you still up for number 6? Autoimmune disorders. Have you ever felt like your body is just not on your side, especially when you're stressed? It turns out that stress can actually trigger autoimmune disorders, where your immune system mistakenly attacks your own body. Dr. Amy Myers, an expert in autoimmune diseases, says, stress is one of the most significant triggers for autoimmune diseases. So, if you've been through narcissistic abuse, that ongoing stress might contribute to these kinds of health issues. Listen carefully. To manage stress-induced autoimmune disorders, incorporate stress-reducing practices like meditation, yoga, and regular physical activity to help support your immune system and overall well-being. Let's keep it moving to number 7. Poor hygiene. When you're dealing with the effects of narcissistic abuse, it's easy to let personal care slip. Emotional neglect can make you feel so overwhelmed that even simple things like showering or brushing your teeth seem too much to handle. Dr. Cheryl Ziegler, a psychologist, points out that when you're emotionally drained, self-care often falls to the bottom of your to-do list. This neglect can lead to poor hygiene, which can affect how you feel about yourself and even your physical health. It's a reminder that taking care of your mind is just as important as taking care of your body. Here comes number 8. Substance abuse. When you're struggling with the effects of narcissistic abuse, it's not uncommon to look for ways to escape those painful feelings. Some people might turn to alcohol or drugs to cope, thinking it'll help them feel better. However, this can lead to substance abuse, which creates more problems in the long run. As Dr. Gabor Mate, an expert on addiction, says, addiction is not about what you're addicted to. It's about what you're trying to escape from. If you find yourself reaching for substances to numb the pain, it's important to recognize that this isn't the answer. Take note of this. Seeking healthier ways to cope, like talking to someone you trust or practicing self-care, can help you heal and feel more in control of your life. Moving on to number 9. Reduced physical activity. When you're feeling the emotional weight of narcissistic abuse, it can be really tough to get moving. That emotional distress often makes you want to curl up on the couch instead of hitting the gym or going for a walk. Dr. John Ratey, a psychiatrist and exercise expert, says, exercise is like taking a little bit of happy medicine. But when you're stuck in a cycle of feeling down, it's easy to let physical activity slide. This sedentary behavior can lead to further health problems, making you feel even worse. Remember this, even if it feels hard, finding small ways to get active, like a short walk or some stretches, can really help lift your mood and improve your overall well-being. Finally, we're down to number 10. Cardiovascular issues. When you're under a lot of stress from narcissistic abuse, it can really take a toll on your heart. Prolonged stress is linked to serious issues like high blood pressure and even heart attacks. Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn, a Nobel Prize-winning scientist, says, stress impacts our health in ways that can shorten our lives. So, if you're constantly feeling anxious or overwhelmed, it's not just your mood that suffers. It can affect your cardiovascular health too. It highlights the importance of finding ways to manage stress, whether it's through exercise, meditation, or talking to someone who understands. Never forget this. Taking care of your heart is just as important as taking care of your mind. In wrapping up, it's clear that narcissistic abuse doesn't just leave emotional scars. It can seriously mess with our physical health, too. When we're under constant stress from toxic relationships, our bodies react in all sorts of ways. It's like our minds and bodies are in a tug-of-war, and unfortunately, the body often loses. But here's the good news. Understanding this connection is a big step toward healing. By focusing on self-care, managing stress, and seeking support, we can start to reclaim our health and well-being. Remember this, it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving. So let's prioritize our health and be kind to ourselves as we move forward. You deserve it.